gather right information. You see, no doubt teachers have trained themselves, they worked on it, but we need to train them properly to access these tools, using which they can get access to a huge repository of information, using which they can filter out the right kind of information to make it or convert it into knowledge. That's very important. It's important. Why? Let me tell you one very, very important thing, that we as teachers of today will never be able to match the pace of today's learners. Reason being, we as teachers, we are technology migrants, and these students are technology residents. इनका तो जन्म ही टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू हुआ है. जब तक ही इनके हाथ में मोबाइल पकड़ा दिया गया है, दे नो टेक्नोलॉजी right the back of their palm, and we struggle with that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to train our teachers how to use technology properly. One, why do we need to do that? Because if we train them how to use technology, they will be able to train themselves using different portals. Do you understand? Today we are talking about 14 million teachers. How are we going to connect with 14 million teachers and within the size of a country, different geographical locations? How do we do that? It is unimaginable. So what we do, that we train them and how to learn on their own. We are saying that let's train students how to learn on their own, but first we need to train ourselves on how do we learn on our own, because the government is coming up with teaching portals, knowledge portals. And one important thing, nowhere is it written that a teacher should know everything. You may not know everything, but you should know how to find everything. You should know where to look, and then you can get it. So that's important, that we need to train our teachers to use technology properly. Once that is taken up, the next part can easily be achieved. They can get trained on their own. They can get trained at a time of their choice, at a geographical location of their choice, and a subject of their choice. So that's the most important thing that we need to do. Because understand, these students are smarter than us. We will have to stop being a sage on the stage and become a facilitator. Why? Why facilitator? Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how to use minimal technology to give excellent results. Okay, you've all heard about flip classrooms. Okay, let me give you a very simple example of how we can achieve flip classroom without the use of much of technology. So today, if I have a session on volcanoes, I come to the class, what will I do? I'll simply open up my book or maybe a note that I've created, I've written down, and I will, download all that what I have prepared or all that I know to the students. It's going to be a one-way communication. Students are going to listen to that, maybe understand, not understand, maybe be interested, maybe not be interested, and that may not work. But instead of this, if I come today to the class and say, tomorrow I'm going to talk about volcanoes, and I want each one of you 30 students to come up with 10 lines of your own. What is it that the kids will do? Go home, straight Google. But the problem is, unfortunately, students will not be able to find those 10 lines. Mark my words, they will not be able to find those 10 lines. They'll find 10,000 lines. What they need to do? They need to read through them. They need to scan through them. They need to skim through them and come out with those 10 lines. And one important thing here, see, like I've already told you that, we work with so many schools with 1 million students, and we work on languages. We have actually realized that increasingly students are reading less, which is very bad. We need to inculcate good reading habits, because NEP 2020, as it is says, that there should be research-based learning. There should be no boundary of what you access and what books. Textbooks are going to go away. They will have to go look for information, read through them, and filter them. So reading has to be good. Once said that, what will the child do? He will actually go through those 10,000 lines or X thousand lines and come up with his own set of lines. And then the next day come and do a presentation. So next, when they come up, the child gets up and presents his 10 points. The first skill that he acquires is how to present. Second, he has to explain this or talk about it in front of the whole class. So communication skills are being developed. Third, He has to listen to others and collaborate. So collaborative learning comes in and peer group learning comes in. Imagine when this is done, everybody comes up with his own points and they all bringing their information, their knowledge, and then together work in a collaborative form and come up with the actual 10 points. And that is where each and every student will participate. When they participate, they will learn and they will never forget that. And what are we doing? We are just using internet, and that too you can use it using a mobile phone, if not a computer, and you don't need much of technology to do that. So what important one important thing is that if we have to achieve the goals put forward by NEP 2020, we will have to use technology. So we will also have to become a part and parcel of delivery. Technology has to be part. You cannot say that this is my computer session, it's my computer class. No, every class, every session will be based or will be with the help of computers. So computers have to become what we have got pens today. Each and every child need to have at least a tablet or a phone or a computer to work on, because they will then be able to look for what they want. Second thing is NEP 2020 gives you a choice of subjects. And let me tell you one thing, not all schools will be able to give all the subjects. So if my school is not offering psychology, does it mean I will not study that? No, I'll have a facilitator who will help me out and I will do it on my own. And that's very important when we talk about technology. We don't have to say इतनी teachers हम कहाँ से लाएंगे. अरे आपके पास गूगल बाबा है ना. You need a teacher just to mentor, facilitate the learning, and that is what will work out. So understand one thing, and once we bring in technology, that does not mean expenses. 80% of our country has access to internet. I'm sure the government will get it to the other 20% also. What we need to do is get everybody ready and marching towards it. That's one. My second point is more on languages. uh, Jasprit ma'am, I think you did talk about languages. Shweta ma'am also did talk about languages when she started about when we were talking about using local language. Excellent, beautiful. Nothing could be better if a child was able to understand the core basic concepts in his own language. When you try to do that in English, imagine a student of class one side he's trying to understand, comprehend what we are telling him in English. On the other side, we are supposed to make him understand the concepts of mathematics and environment science. That becomes difficult. But a child, when he comes to school, he already understands his mother tongue or the local language, so understanding concepts is going to be good. But 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 that does not mean English has to be put aside. One important thing, nowhere is it said. In fact, Shweta ma'am did talk about that it is mandatory. No, it is not mandatory to teach in the local language. You can still teach in English, but ideal would be to teach in both the languages, multilingual. It should be, concepts should be taught in the local language, but English too should be taught. You see, it is said that by the age of 8, a student can acquire up to 5 languages. NEP talks about only 3. The 3 language formula. First is the local or the mother tongue. Second is the foreign language, which is English. Third is the classical language. In most cases, out of people who are there, it is going to be Sanskrit. So the local language gives him access to understanding his core subjects, also gets him to understand or give respect to the local heritage and local culture, and they get to know such a lot. English will get him connected to the world. English will get him access to a lot of loads of information which is there on the internet. And the classical language will make him more nationalist, will give him access to those scriptures and a lot of knowledge which is buried under those scriptures. And that is where we have a lot of learning that can happen. So in our case, because all of us are either from North India or yeah, we are all from North India except me, I'm from West India. So Hindi becomes the local language, or maybe Gujarati if it's Gujarat. Okay, English becomes the foreign language, Sanskrit becomes the classical language, and everybody gets to understand all what India is all about. Our rich culture, our rich heritage, everything can be done. You'll be surprised to know, Chandok sir, principal ma'am, Yadav sir, that when NEP 2020, the first draft came in, we saw that they were talking about classical language. So we've come up with a Sanskrit lab. Yadav sir, because of our Sanskrit lab, we've been given order to implement in all 1100 Kendriya Vidyalayas. I don't know whether आपके KV में लग गया है कि नहीं. अभी आ जाएगा, because very soon
We are
they have
planning, sir. We are planning.
we are planning. So 474 labs have already been installed. So what is happening is, the other point is, again, for languages also, if you think it's a problem, because language can't be learned, can't be taught, language is acquired. How do you create that atmosphere for acquiring a language? Use technology, set up language labs, and do all those things. So all these things are possible if we do use technology and understand our students. If a child speaks three or more languages at a time, again I'm repeating, if a child speaks three or more languages at a time, the brain works better. Imagine one sentence, they use three languages and still make meaning out of it. That's logic. So what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to get our students to become smarter, more cultured, and know the heritage of India, which is a very, very important aspect of life. So, with this, I would like to conclude that teachers, please promote reading in your schools. See to it you inculcate good habits of reading. Second, focus on training your teachers on using technology. Third, self learning. Fourth, at least have each and every student be proficient in all three languages. I don't say they should just know, but they should be proficient. And if you're proficient in three languages, you become a smarter person and a more accepted person in this society. So I would like to conclude here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jaswinder sir, for sharing importance of language and technology. Big thanks for your thoughts. Now, with this, we come to the last part of the session, which is the question part. I would, request participant, if you have any question, you can write in the chat box. We have already received many questions during the registration part. So, but before I start presenting these questions, I'll just share my screen for a minute, and I just would like to share the kind of work we are doing at school Lalaji for a 1 minute, and then some of you are already aware with the School Lalaji Solutions. We are India's largest one-stop solution platform for educational institutions. We help educational institutions in three ways. We help them in buying right thing from right people at right price. We also help institutions in selling their old stuff, like their old buses, furniture, generators to other institutions. We also help institutions in raising money, that may be in terms of loan, fee financing. Why any educational institution would need a service from the platform like School Lalaji? You already have your old suppliers, your team is expert, you believe you are getting good discount. So why you would need a platform like School Lalaji? There are two main reasons. One is the discount, because we give our companies, partner companies, bulk orders, so we have more negotiating power with them. Negotiate with them for a better discount. That is one reason. The second and important reason is, in our country we have more than 10,000 educational suppliers. Every month there are hundreds of companies which are coming into education with wonderful product and services. So it's very, very difficult for school leaders to meet all those companies, to have an eye upon those all companies, to understand their products in detail, to differentiate between different products available. Here we come into picture, we understand your school, your taste, your budgetary limitation, your actual requirement. We also negotiate with those companies. We have category experts who keep on talking to those different companies in different categories. We also negotiate with them. We also talk to their previous client to certify their credibility. And then after doing negotiation, we recommend you the right set of options. There are different areas where we are helping educational institutions: smart classroom, procurement, uniform, insurance, diesel, solar plant, language labs, security solutions, furniture, recruitment, music classrooms, healthcare, robotics, stamp team labs, career counseling, stationery, digital marketing, IT solutions, educational to generators, learning tools, and finance. And we take the guarantee that will save at least 5 to 7% of your annual expenditure. That's kind of a 5% additional revenue generation for your institution. Just one example, we saved 2 crore 40 lakh rupees for different educational institutions in one category only. That's bus insurance. We are perhaps India's largest school bus insurance partner. So major highlight, we did a 8 megawatt plus solar installation, 3,000 plus bus insurance, 400 plus smart classroom, 2,000 plus cameras, 350 plus training program, 56 old buses, uniform in 52 schools. By the end of 2021, we aim to reach out to 10,000 institutions. We need your support, your guidance, your blessings. But thanks, I'll end my talk here. And with this, we come to the question part. I would request Chandok sir, if I may present the first question to you.
Sure, sir.
Sir, I have posted the question in the chat box. Mr. Rahul Kumar, who is a HOD Biology, Guru Nanak Public School, Lajpat Nagar, Kanpur. The question says,
Right, sir.
how how poor connectivity of internet will be productive among stakeholders?
Sir, as I told that internet may be a problem for the students and for the teachers also to teach them. But the most important thing is the sincerity among the teachers. The sincerity among the teachers should be there. None of the policy will be able to implement it if the sincerity of the teachers is not there. Doing B.Ed or taking training is not important. The thing is the practical approach, how you're dealing up with the students, how you're making the subject, interesting for the student. Like sir is talking about biology. So bio can be taught by taking the students giving a practical approach. If we take training of a pre-primary teacher, it is not important. As I told you, I had been taking training in the outer skirts also, where I'm giving them, the base where how without technology or without internet they can go up for the teaching. So it is not important because technology, as far as India is related, we won't be able to come up with 100% technology everywhere. We will have problem. We'll be facing problem here in Kanpur or in the big cities, or we don't have any problem. But when we come about the rural areas and we come about the outer skirts, their internet problem is there. There, the teacher has not to stop up with their education. They should go up with the practical approach. If we are saying the pre-primary teachers, if we want to introduce vegetable to the children, take up few vegetables, and while teaching them and laughing and dancing, you teach them how the what the vegetables are. Likewise, if you're teaching biology, you can take the children to the garden, you can bring up plants, you can bring up something where you can give them practical approach, you can give them example, you can enact the things. You can enact the things. If somebody is teaching social studies, if you're talking about Akbar Babar, so you can put up the characters to them that you are this person, you are this person, you are this person. Talking about technology, because any but there, when we talk about the drawbacks, technology can reach everywhere. So the most important is that way to make other things effective with and without technology. We should not be disabled. We should come up with the rest of the things. We have practically approach, like in bio teaching also, sir, you can go up to the garden. You can go somewhere where you can teach the children. You can bring them some plants when you're teaching them. You can get it without technology also, without internet also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Chandok sir. I would come back to you
Welcome,
for your
sir.
concluding remark. And now I would
Sure, sir.
request Jasdeep ma'am, ma'am, if I may present the next question to you.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I have already posted the question in the chat box. Mr. Renu Kumar, who's a PGT with Ramjas Public Day Boarding School, Delhi. The question says, how is NEP different from the previous education policy? And what is the scope for educators in new policy? So, ma'am, if you can highlight two key differences between this policy and the last policy.
So the first main difference is that in this, as sir has told, that the credit score is there. That if the child has left the education in between, he can definitely get the certificate of whatever marks he has scored and can continue the education even after the 7 years. But and the next thing is that in +1 and +2, what they have introduced is that the child can study history side by if they are studying physics and chemistry also. There is not going to be the hard course that it's the commerce child, medical and non-medical. The basic is, and this thing is which I have found very good, that the no hard and fast rule is there, that the streams are differentiating with arts, commerce and medical, non-medical. This difference is going to be eliminated. This one which I have found very good in the NEP. Next thing is that the foundation stage earlier this was missing. The collaboration of the Anganwadis, they are this new education policies, they are collaborating it with the preschools and the primary schools together, and are providing all kind of infrastructure and the trained teachers to the Anganwadis. So the first stage and the last stage which I have found is very good in the new van, which was missing in the previous one.
Right. Thank you. Just ma'am, I'll come back to you for your concluding remark. Now, I would request Yadav sir, sir, if I may present the next question to you. Ms. Rekha Shrivastava, who is a PGT with Maheshi Vidya Mandir, Kanpur. Question says, what are the changes to evaluate students under NEP 2020? I believe Yadav sir has lost the connection.
Pardon, sir, what is the question?
The question also, Yadav sir, so just, ma'am, you can take on this question.
I
The
just want
changes
to
in the
say.
assessment process. Changes in the assessment process.
The assessment, yes, even we people are following it. I have was looking to the curriculum yesterday only. The difference what they have this with the current learning is, as sir has told in this talk also.
Yes, ma'am.
Is my voice audible?
It's just breaking in between now, but it's audible. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, the assignments, the research based, definitely the child, as sir has told, that I am going to listen to you, with you the 10 lines, just go and find. Definitely, the assessment is based what sir has told. The child has gone to the internet, gone through the reading skill, we have maintained that reading skill. Research is there because if the child has searched out the internet, the volcano topic is there, he has searched throughout the topic, and then the communication what he has developed, he has jot down those 10 lines and has communicated in the class, and together they have, this is the assessment criteria which we have founding, we are doing it now also, but we will be doing it in a better way the next after all the webinars and the trainings which we are concluding it. Definitely it's going to be the best way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sir, for this question, I'll sum up that regular formative assessment will be there rather than running for the coaching culture.
Well, yes.
So that is more important, that the children will be able to have basic knowledge instead of going to the coachings and they're
Very
learning
good.
over there.
Yes, sir.
So that is most important about NEP. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would come back to you both.
It's
Thank you,
learning by
Jasdeep ji.
doing. They will be doing
Yeah,
and then
yes.
learning. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And now I would request Jaswinder sir, sir, if I may present this question to you. This would be the last question for today. Sir, a lot of people have asked this question. How this NEP, many believe that this NEP is an attempt to dilute the importance of English as a language. By emphasizing upon that mother tongue part. So, what are your perspective on this?
No, that's not true. They are not saying that we need to dilute English, the importance of English, but they are definitely saying that we should bring in more importance to our local languages. Each language has its own importance, its own position. So we need to respect and acknowledge the presence of each language. We've got, see, India is the only country in the world which has got so many languages, right? So many languages means so many cultures. So many cultures means so many heritage. So what we need to do is, by getting into different languages, we get to know more, we become wiser people. But nowhere is it written, or nowhere is it trying to say that English should not be acquired. In fact, NEP 2020 does not say that you have to compulsorily teach in the local language. No. If the school decides that they want to teach in English only, that's up to them. But they suggest that you should use the other language or the local language. So English is not going to lose out. Remember, we still have to work with the entire world. India has the capacity to take on the world. India has the capacity to feed the world. India has the capacity to develop and manufacture for the world. But to do all that, you need to talk to them. You need to communicate with them. You need to stand with them. You need to cooperatively work with them. For that, English is important. So English will never ever lose its importance. In fact, post the announcement of NEP 2020, we've got more schools inquiring about how do we work on English language skills, because somewhere They want to make sure that when they are focusing on the other languages, they focus on English also. So that is not true.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jaswinder sir, for that. I'll come back to you with for the concluding remark. And with this, we come to the end of this very, very special 156th session of Leadership Talks. Big thanks to all the key speakers, Chandok sir, Jasdeep Kaur ma'am, Yadav sir, Jaswinder sir, Shweta Vakil ma'am. I also thank other participants. But before we end the session, I would request if we can have your concluding remark. And we have also established one very interesting practice that while sharing your concluding remark, if you can also suggest, one idea, one thought that you would like to implement if you get a chance to become a Union Minister of Education. So, what would be your priority? So, I would request Jaswinder sir, sir, if we can begin with you, your concluding remark and what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Minister of Education, Jaswinder sir.
Okay, so this NEP 2020, like I earlier said, it's a disruptive policy. Disruptive means it's a huge policy, a lot of changes, and a lot of us are really scared. So my point is, let's not be scared. This is a big piece of cake that we need to eat, but let's have small pieces done. Work on one aspect, finish that, go to the other, work on it, finish that, and slowly over the years we implement it. We have got 10 long years to implement it completely. Let's start accepting it by spirit and then start working on it from piece to piece. That is what I would say as a concluding remark. Now, when we talk about the other part, see, understand one thing. I think earlier it was said by it was discussed by one of the panelists that we need to have the right kind of teachers. We need to have the right kind of teacher joining the education fraternity. It can't be a profession by force. It has to be a profession by choice. NEP 2020 has rightly brought in the 4-year integrated B.Ed course, where right from the beginning, a child or a learner knows that I am going to be a teacher. And that's where you get the right kind of people. But when will you get the right kind of people opting for such courses? When they are paid well and when they are respected well. Both of them are important. A teacher needs to be respected. If you want to have the right kind of people to join in, you need to have the right kind of respect given, the kind of respect that we used to give to our gurus. So if I were to be the Minister of Education, what I would first do is classify all teachers, all edu leaders, all educationists as the first class citizens of the country. They should be given the respect that they demand for. Recently, in one of the Scandinavian countries, Chandok sir and Gurdeep ma'am, these people, sorry, Jasdeep ma'am, some of these, and I think sir is not there. So a lot of those engineers and doctors who are paid less than the teachers went and approached the government and said, why are we paid less?
Yes.
There was a single line answer: because you are common people. What it meant was the teachers are not common. They are the ones who developed you, who made you. They are the future. They're the developers or the makers of the future of the country. They need to be extraordinary. And that's why they are paid more. That thing should come to our system too. Teachers need to be respected. And if they are respected, I'm sure if some teachers who are not putting in the right kind of efforts will automatically put in, because when you are identified to do a noble cause, you have to do the noble cause, and slowly you will be a noble soul. Understand, gone are those days that a teacher was called a master and he had to have a jhola with him. No, the teacher should be most secured person in the country. I would say the army, which secures the present, and teachers, which secure the future of the country.
Yes.
They both need to be identified and they both need to be respected. So, Chandok sir and Jasdeep ma'am, I'm on a small mission. I wanted to become big. I'm going to share a small, just a couple of pages. I want to ask for something from you if you could be a part of this mission.
Sure,
Okay,
sir.
so like I earlier told you that we as a company, we are into development of language labs for English, Hindi, Sanskrit, and French now. So during this tenure of 15 years, we have trained more than 25,000 teachers. And when we were training them, we realized that we need to recognize these souls. We need to recognize all the educationists.
Hmm.
Now see, a doctor writes a DR as a prefix to his name. an engineer writes ER, a chartered accountant writes CA. Why can't we write an ED in front of our name? Let's identify ourselves. Let the world know that I am a teacher. I am the one who's making the career of your child, the future of this country, and I am to be recognized, or all teachers need to be recognized. If we do that, I'm sure the kind of value that comes into this, we'll have the right kind of people joining us this thing. What I've also done is, without taking your permission, I have, noted this down. If this appeals to you, please write this ED in front of your name. Please have your teachers who serve along with you in the school, have them write that and let them feel advantaged, let them feel recognized, let them feel respected. And I'm sure this small one step move will go a long way when all of us do that. So this is a personal request. If you could do that, I'm trying to share this in all the forums that I go and I talk to them and I say, you are an education, so you need to write an ED. That prefix is yours. Please keep it. So I, conclude with this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jaswinder.
I think we are of the same vision, sir. When I came to join the school as a principal, so I went for the I cards, and the teachers came to me, ma'am, what's my designation? What I have to write, TGT, PGT, or PRT? I said the I card who was making it. I said, right, educationist over there.
Wow.
So all my teachers, they are bearing the I cards with the educationist.
Educationist. Everybody
So I
becomes
think
equal.
we are of the same vision.
जी मैम, जी
I
मैम.
don't know how it came.
चंदोक सर, आप भी ये थोड़ा कर दीजिए, तो we will all be into this.
हाँ,
Sure, sir,
Fortunately, we are
sure,
three
sure.
Sardars
Sir,
talking about the same
sir,
thing.
I am running a group by the name of Educationist, and around 200 teachers are over there. I mean, from many cities and all, and we are helping each other. These people are helping for the jobs, for good suggestions. Even sometimes blood is needed. So these people, they go and they contribute their blood even. So humanity, along with education and with providing the jobs and everything. So many people told me, sir, please don't shut down this group, because so many people, they get jobs and they get so good suggestions in this group, and please continue with this group and be the admin of this group. So this is, I'm doing it since from last 8 years, and
Nice.
the group name is Educationist. And we'll now be using everywhere in Kanpur. I'll try, and wherever I'm connected, that ED should be written in front
हाँ जी
of the
सर,
name.
this is a people's
I'll
movement.
do it.
Yes, that'd
This
be
will
so nice.
this will be a muhim, and thank you so
Okay.
much for suggesting this ED. And
Thank
this
you, sir.
ED you will see very soon, that you will see in WhatsApp and Facebook and everywhere. You'll see this ED with all over India where I
I
am
look
connected.
forward. I look forward, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jaswinder sir. Thank you, Chandok sir, Jasdeep ma'am. And now I would request Jasdeep ma'am, if we can have your concluding remark. And what would be your priority अगर आप भारत के शिक्षा मंत्री बने तो आपकी क्या प्रायोरिटी होगी?
सर, मेरी जो 2 प्रायोरिटीज थी उनमें से एक तो सर ने कंप्लीट कर दी. वी ऑल एग्री ओवर देयर. एंड माय सेकंड इज कि जो बोर्ड एग्जाम्स हैं, आई थिंक वो रिसर्च बेस्ड ज्यादा होने चाहिए रादर देन द रोट लर्निंग एंड चिल्ड्रन आर जॉटिंग डाउन ऑन द आंसर शीट्स एंड स्कोरिंग द मार्क्स. आई थिंक इट शुड बी रिसर्च बेस्ड.
Research based papers, right?
Research. They are submitting their assignments after doing the research, and the marks should be given accordingly. This is my.
Right, right. Thank you, Jasdeep ma'am. Big thanks for your participation and wonderful remark. And now I would request Chandok sir. Sir will like to end the session with your remarks. So I would
Sure,
request
sir.
if you can share your concluding remark.
Sir,
And what would be your priority if you get a chance to become Bharat ki Shiksha Mantri? Chandok sir.
Sir, for concluding also, and if I become the education minister of India, so I will go on for 2 things. What I have learned with the NEP and the outcomes or the limitations will be, I want to remove that. The first thing is technology. That is technology, or it is in the form of internet, should reach everywhere, even in the outer skirts of the cities, also in the villages also. This is might be the first priority. And along with that, the government should give financial aid to the private schools also, the private schools especially of B and C category. There should be a common platform. Suppose a government has implemented something, that this is thing we are going to provide you, and this is common over here, and all the school teachers on the students, they can get together and they can use this facility. So there are many schools, sir, in B and C category, what I said, A, B, and C, that they are, or the students are, they want to do a lot of things, but because of finance, they are not able to do. And this places, then this place, what I'll do is that along with the government school, I will provide finance, a collective finance to the private schools also, in some limit.
Absolutely.
These are the two most important things, because these things, finance will be there and technology will be there. Everything is possible, whatever we want internally or externally, sir.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली। यहाँ पे जसविंदर सर का एक थॉट है जो उन्होंने पहले भी कुछ सेशंस में दिया। सर अगर आप बताना चाहें जसविंदर सर।
या सर, मेरा एक ये थॉट है कि जिस तरह रेलवेज में रेल नेट करके उनका खुद का एक इंटरनेट है, एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट शुड हैव एड्यूनेट, एक ऐसा नेटवर्क जो गलत चीजें वो निकाल दिया जाए और बाकी हो जाए, फ्री हो हर टीचर को, हर स्टूडेंट को, एंड हर बच्चे को ये एक टैबलेट दे दे। सर जितना ये पेपर को सब्सिडाइज करते हैं उतने पैसे में अगर टैबलेट आ जाएगा, सारी बुक्स भी आ जाएंगी एंड बच्चे को बस टेक्नोलॉजी भी पहुंच जाएगी। इंटरनेट अगर रेलवे पूरे इंडिया के सब कोने तक है तो हम एक एजुकेशन नेटवर्क भी ला सकते हैं अगर ये गवर्नमेंट ले जाए। एंड राजुल जी, मैं आपको कहता हूँ थ्रू योर फोरम, इफ यू कैन टेक इट अप टू द गवर्नमेंट, प्लीज एक एजुकेशन का नेटवर्क बनाइए।
इसमें मेरा एक थॉट, अभी एक थॉट दिमाग में आया जसविंदर सर, एंड यू नो जसदीप मैम, चांडोक सर यहाँ पे हैं। नो वी कैन रन अ सिग्नेचर कैंपेन। यादव सर has joined us back. He was facing some technical glitch. So you know, if we can create a signature campaign, Jaswinder sir, आप बताएं कि ये कितना effective होगा, because you know we are connected with somewhere around 7,000 plus educational institutions. तो अगर एक signature campaign हम run करें, if we can, you know, नहीं,
मैं आपको बताऊं, ये सिग्नेचर कैंपेन से कुछ नहीं होता। इतना सारा ये जो फार्मर्स का कुछ नहीं हो रहा। इसमें तो जाके उनको सिंपल ये बताना है कि देश का भला कैसे होने वाला है एंड गवर्नमेंट को किस तरह डिजिटल इंडिया को प्रमोट करना है। आप समझिए, द मोमेंट आप गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी, गवर्नमेंट प्रोजेक्ट को आगे ले जाएंगे तो वो हो जाएगा सिग्नेचर कैंपेन या अगेंस्ट ही लिया जाता है। एक सिंपल ये बताना है कि आप जो डिजिटल कैंपेन कर रहे हैं, ये कैंपेन सिर्फ बिजनेस के लिए नहीं है, बिजनेस के लायक बनने के लिए है। तो बच्चों को इंटरनेट का इसको एक्सेस दीजिए। इसमें और क्या होगा मैं आपको बताऊं, इसके अंदर हमारा इंटरनेशनल बैंडविड्थ नहीं यूज होना, हमारा नेशनल बैंडविड्थ यूज होना है। वो तो फ्री है, कोई कॉस्ट ही नहीं है। इन्हें क्या करना चाहिए, जिस तरह स्कूलों को बोल दिया कि आपको 25% आरटीआई को देने हैं बच्चे, टेलीकॉम वालों को दे दो, फिर 25% तुमको स्कूलों को देना है, एजुकेशन को देना है, या उनको पैसा दे दो। ये सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑलरेडी है, जस्ट इंटेंट नहीं है, या उनको आइडिया नहीं है, या आइडिया है तो शायद उनके पास इसकी प्रायोरिटी नहीं है। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टू गिव दिस इज ऑलरेडी देयर। हम पिछले 20 साल से ढूंढ रहे हैं, वाई मैक्स होगा, वाई मैक्स होगा, पूरी सिटी इंटरनेट से होगी। अरे क्यों नहीं कर रहे? जब गूगल ने इंडियन रेलवेज के साथ मिलकर सारे प्लेटफॉर्म को गूगल एनेबल कर दिया, आप एक बार आवाज करो, अजीम प्रेम जी फाउंडेशन को बोलो, आप टाटा को बोलो, आप एक से बोलो, ये एक स्टेट लेके कर सकते हैं। बिकॉज ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वाइज महंगा नहीं है, ये तो हवा है, हवा की तरंगे हैं। इंटेंट चाहिए।
What we can do, sir, what we can do in this, Jaswinder sir, if you can take the lead on this and you can create a kind of, you know, I would say a proposal to government, जो हम उनको साथ share कर सकें। तो what we can do, we can take the people along from different cities, the edu leaders like Chandok sir, Yadav sir, Jasdeep ma'am from different cities, let's say from 500 cities of India, you know, the edu leaders from those cities, so we can take them along. And you know, at different regional offices of CBSE or HRD, or at different level at Ministry of Technology, which would play a very important role here।
रविशंकर प्रसाद जी को जानता हूँ
जी।
आप
तो आप तो अहमदाबाद से हैं, और दो लोग ही तो देश आप बोल दें। तो आप सर, जसविंदर सर ने, मैं एक और बात सबको बताऊं यहाँ पे, जसविंदर सर has worked very closely with मोदी जी and he was the then Chief Minister of Gujarat
जी। हमने गुजरात में 5 लाख बच्चों को अंग्रेजी पढ़ाई थी, मोदी जी का प्रोजेक्ट था उसमें। But anyway, so Raju ji, this is a thought. Let's put some brains together.
Very serious idea सर आपने जो दिया
बना के इनको दिया जाए and it'll help, because see, न करो कोई और पैंडेमिक फिर से आ गया, कहाँ जाएंगे? हमने बच्चों को चलो 60-70% को मिल गया, बट बाकी 40% को इंटरनेट नहीं था. दे डिड नॉट गेट द ऑनलाइन क्लासेस, दे सफर्ड. एंड यू नो कितने मिलियंस एंड बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स का इंडिया के बच्चों को नुकसान हुआ, इंडिया की इकोनॉमी को नुकसान हुआ, बिकॉज ये बच्चे एक साल पीछे रह गए.
बिल्कुल.
एंड आई एम श्योर वी कैन इन्वेस्ट दिस मच मनी. क्या करेंगे? एक पुल कम
Absolutely.
करेंगे, एक सबमरीन कम बताएंगे, एक रॉकेट कम छोड़ेंगे, पर बच्चों को तो आगे ले जाएंगे. I think we can do
Absolutely.
that. We should work on it,
Absolutely.
everybody. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Jaswinder sir. And meanwhile, we have been joined by Yadav sir. Sir, we lost your signal. I would request sir, हम लोग conclude कर रहे हैं, तो आपका concluding remark अगर हमें मिले, और एक practice हमने शुरू करी है, that while sharing your concluding remark, अगर आप एक idea भी share करें, अगर आप भारत के शिक्षा मंत्री बने तो आपका क्या priority होगी? So both things, your concluding remark and what would be your priority if you get a chance, Yadav sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to become the Education Minister of India. Sir, मुझे लगता है कि यदि ऐसा होता है, या एज अ मीन्स कोई भी हो, एज अ एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर ऑफ एजुकेशन, नो डाउट जब एजुकेशन में है तो एजुकेशन की और ये में देखना पड़ेगा. तो हमें एक बच्चों के हित और हित में, जैसे चाहे पैंडेमिक हो और ऐसी और भी हो सकता है कि भी ऐसी इंसिडेंट्स हो, तो जो एजुकेशन सेक्टर में जो बजटिंग है, मुझे लगता है कि उस बजट को हमें बढ़ाना चाहिए. मेरा अपना मानना है कि मैं, अगर मुझे ऐसा मौका मिलता है, तो मैं सबसे पहला ये काम करूंगा कि बजट जो है वो बढ़ाया जाए, जिससे कि जो मेन स्ट्रीम हमारी और होती है, भाई डिफेंस सेक्टर है, हेल्थ सेक्टर है और सेक्टर है, उसमें से if it is possible, then we should also equate this education budget to some respected level, so that we can have proper infrastructure for the schools, for the students, because we felt during this COVID pandemic that some of the students were there who were not having even a smartphone. Then our alumni, they helped them by providing the mobile phones, smartphones. But I think it is the duty of the government to provide such type of infrastructure to the students. So only one point, that is to increase the budget of the education sector. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. तो आपको फिर शिक्षा मंत्रालय के साथ साथ फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री का एडिशनल चार्ज भी देना पड़ेगा. Right, sir. So thank you, Yadav sir. Big thanks to all the key speakers, Chandok sir, Jasdeep ma'am, Jaswinder sir, Yadav sir, Shweta ma'am, for participating and sharing your wonderful thoughts and ideas. I also thank other participants for being with us for the entire session. So here we'll end the session. A big thanks to all of you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.